Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everything's went well this weekend. Everybody's excited for the week. Big opportunity today on Monday to get it started on a good foot with some momentum. Ryan Murphy coming to you live from the condo. And my conversation today is a story about being uncommon and what that means. So the story gets started with my brother and I being 19 and 17 years old and having a dream and wanting to play baseball at the highest level and realizing that where we were at was never going to be good enough in terms of our measurables, because again, that's what the highest level cares about, the measurables. We were never going to be good enough if we didn't change and do something drastic. So the drastic decision that we decided to make was we moved our entire lives from Boston, Massachusetts, Weymouth, Massachusetts, where we grew up, spent every summer, everything, all the time that we had ever had on planet Earth, and we moved to Montgomery, Texas, to train at a place called the Texas Baseball Ranch. And at the time, we had no family, we had no ties, we knew nothing. We drive up to this ranch that has a sign hanging out in front of it on a little back road in Montgomery, Texas. And you're driving up, and it's this winding country road, and it says, Ron Wolf Forest Texas Baseball Ranch, leading the world in the objective measurement of baseball skills. And when we drove in and parked, I remember looking at the place and thinking, this is what we came 3,000 miles for, and this is why we're going to live on air mattresses this summer? Because my concept of what I was going to pull up to see was different than the reality I was looking at. We stepped out of the car. It was 105 degrees, roughly. I mean, it was 105 every day, essentially, because it was Montgomery, Texas in the middle of the summer. And what we found was we saw ropes hung around trees for battle ropes. There was a big silver barn that would come to be known as the Velocity Dome. We did some training in there as well, some fast twitch training, ladders, hurdles. There was a half-made baseball field at the time, but essentially the place was pretty barren in terms of it wasn't like Lifetime Fitness, no knock against Lifetime Fitness, but it was Spartan, it was rugged. And so our first initial appearance or thought of this was, but we had already heard that these guys produced more 90-mile-an-hour arms than anybody else on the planet, and that's what we both needed. We needed something different. And so it wasn't long, it was actually that very first day where we figured out that it wasn't the facility and the niceness or the newness of a facility that was going to make us different, that was going to change our lives. What it was the people who were at the top, who had created and crafted a program and an environment, most importantly, a world-class training environment. That was what was going to change us. And here's what I mean. When we started moving, like when it was time to warm up and it was time to start the workout, everything was moving at lightning speed. You could feel it. You could perceive it. It was faster than anything I had ever been around. And I was way behind. So that went for the working out and for the throwing. Especially the throwing, I felt it. Working out wise, I felt like I was in pretty good shape, but everybody was so much faster. Their ladders were faster. Their movements were more precise. Everything was just blurred. It was a blur around me. So what happens? Subconsciously, we get elevated. It's an uncommon environment. It's not the environment that I had ever come across. Then it comes time to throw. It's one thing to watch 95 miles an hour on TV. It's another thing to be next to somebody that's throwing 95 miles an hour when you're throwing 76. It's not fun, but it's also an experience that's required if you're truly going to be able to take yourself to the next level, because what you start to notice is, oh, this guy that's throwing 95 right here, you can hear the hiss of the ball into the pad, and it's totally different versus mine, which was 76, and you couldn't even hear the sound against the pad. But it was wake up. It was, oh my God, I knew I was behind, but this is what behind sounds like, looks like, feels like. That's 95, I'm 76. Time to be different. Time to go to the next level. What is this guy doing that I'm not doing that I can steal that can get me somewhere closer to where he's at? And that's what it became. What can I steal today, and what effort can I put in today to get a little bit closer to where that guy's at? Because that guy is closer than I am to where I need to be to get to my goal, which is to play at the highest level. And that became the task. And so then 3 days later, you're outside in 105 degrees and you guys get partnered up. You and this 95-mile-an-hour guy get in the same group. And maybe we did a lot of stuff on gymnastics rings. So maybe you're doing ring pull-ups or ring push-ups, or maybe we were pulling sleds. And you beat that guy in one set of one component of a workout. And that is the moment where you go, wait a minute, that dude's not superhuman. Like everybody else in my life had told me, oh, Ryan, you just don't genetically have it. Bull. Genetics are a starting point, but bull. That is the biggest fallacy, the biggest lie. And if you're going to buy into that concept, you're really just telling yourself that you don't have the fortitude, the balls to chase down something that's beyond where you're at right now. Because that's what everybody else in my life had told me up to that point, and they were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. They just weren't willing to find out how much hard work and hell they would have to go through to get to what level to get to the level that they wanted to get to. Anyways, I digress. So you win that one set of pull-ups, or you win that one set of a sled pull, and then you look at that guy that's throwing 95, and he's no longer a god. He's just another guy that actually happens to be really close to that pro level, but you just realize that there's one thing that you can do physically that's related to baseball, obviously, because this is part of the workout, and there's nothing at the ranch that was random. Everything was designed, measured, deliberate. It was a world-class training facility. It is a world-class training facility. And you go, if I can beat that guy in that one thing, maybe I can beat him at some point in the throw. Light bulb. Spark. Okay? Being uncommon was our mantra, and it's on the back of a shirt that I still have that I wear all the time, because it reminds me that to be great does not mean moving with the herd. If you're doing what the rest of the 95% of the world, like Earl Nightingale said in The Secret, if you haven't listened to that, I would recommend it. Phenomenal, phenomenal mindset. Earl Nightingale, The Secret. If you're paying attention to what 95% of the world is doing and mocking and mimicking that, you're wrong. Because the people who do it differently, who found a different way, the top 5%, the top 1%, they're doing things their own way. They're doing it different. They're not doing the same thing everybody else is doing, or else they'd be getting what everybody else is getting. That's another thing that is directly related to being uncommon. It's like, if you're trying to be popular and fit in, forget about greatness. Forget about being elite. It's not going to happen. And if it does, it'll be for a fleeting moment randomly, but it's not going to be sustainable. Greatness requires sacrifice. Greatness requires measurement. Greatness requires willpower that is beyond imagination until you've gone into that level. And greatness is not something that just happens. It's every single day. Like Heidi Laws gave this to me from somewhere, but it was, success is never owned. It's you wake up and you pay rent every day. That's greatness. And it's different. And it's unpopular. And you're going to lose friends over it. And the real friends that you have, by the way, you're not going to lose. But the phony friends, the friends who you stop going out on Friday night to get messed up because you're going to stay inside and focus and do some work on your mindset, or you're going to spend some extra time on your schoolwork to get that grade, or you're going to spend some time on getting your arm healthy or getting some rest and whatever. Like, you're concerned now with your nutrition, so you're not going to go out and drink 15 beers 4 nights a week. If you're going to lose those friends, get rid of them. They're holding you back anyway. So being uncommon in whatever area of life is not a guarantee of world-class success. But what it is a guarantee that if you continue to push the envelope and study and learn and grind and reflect and then apply again, you will change your circumstance. You will become a different human being. There is no amount of time that's guaranteed. For us, For my brother and I was just telling this story yesterday. My brother Connor, like, he went from 75 miles an hour to he's now touched 95, and it happened over 7 years. 20 miles an hour in 7 years. If I told you you're going to gain 20 miles an hour, would you believe it? Most people watching this would be like, nope. At age 17, everybody, by the way, had told him, you're too small, you're never going to do it, you're wasting your time. They laughed at him. They laughed at both of us when we said we're going to go to Texas to learn how to throw 90. 90, yeah, okay, guys, yeah, have fun. And then they see you throw, and they're like, whoa, dude, what happened? Like somebody came over and sprinkled pixie dust on you and told you, hey, or like it was magic, or like they've seen a ghost. And by the way, that's a great feeling when somebody's told you can't do something, and then they happen to be witness to you doing that thing that, anyways, that's a cool feeling. That's a nice little tie into the why. Because you told me I couldn't? Oh yeah, watch me, dude. Watch me do this. Boom, I was right. How's that? And that might be prideful, but pragmatic. If that's what gets you excited, go get it. But the point is that if you're trying to be something great, be different. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. It's human nature, and I feel the same way about, I don't want to. But at the end of the day, is it really that important? How many people, when you're on your deathbed in your life, are you really going to be concerned with what they thought about you? There's a Les Miles, fantastic motivational speaker, and one of the things he says is the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where all the unrealized dreams, all the unrealized potential sits. All the thoughts and the dreams that people didn't take action on. I do not want to end up in the graveyard thinking about where I should have taken action. I want to go to this grave absolutely stretched to the maximum, knowing full well that wherever I got to because I wrung the towel dry. I want to be able to help the guys that I work with see in themselves the potential that everybody else might not have seen in them, because everybody else probably was not willing to make the sacrifices that are required to be uncommon. So I say this to you no matter what medium, no matter what realm you're in. If you want to be great, you can be great, but you've got to separate and disconnect from everything that is considered to be normal or common or whatever, because that is the road to mediocrity. And mediocrity does not equal safety. Financially, it does not equal safety. The middle class, check out the middle class. What's happened in the middle class? They've gotten swallowed. The middle class was sold as the American dream. Forget middle class. Like, if you're in the middle class, that's great, but like, go to the next level. You got to be trying to go to the next level, because if you're just content with middle class, you're susceptible. We saw this in 2008 and 2009. Who got hammered? The middle class. There's always a next level, and if you're not pursuing what the next level is, then you're dying. You might not see it right now, but you are. Figure out what it is that you love, be uncommon, and pursue it with every fiber of your being. That's the only formula for success that I've ever found. Thank you very much. Please like, share, ask questions. I really appreciate everybody that takes a chance to check these out, and I hope that you get something out of it that gives you a little bit of something extra today to go out and make it great. Have a fantastic Monday.